alive in the night to realize I'm in the middle of the time of my life. I never sold back for the stack, never lied on the back. Got it back from the way that I write it. Queen looking Tyson, through that I survived, doing 80 to the house. Then I hit into the sky, change haters on a tirade. Talking to the grip in the face, be still like I hate stuff fade. We all want the same, we all want a meal in the safe. I wanna live like I'm trying to reach enlightenment. Just build from my lips, feel big from the bit. Take a sip till I pass out. I'm trying to get grit, but it don't make sense. Cause you can lose life on this fast route. And turn thoughts to a cash cow. I might flip that to the glass house. I don't need the accolades, I'm in love with the chase. I just wanna eat, save a spot at the table. Beast with the slap, pin myself on the map. You know with the wind, but we knowing that it's cap. 5-hour flights, couple nights at the flat. To be real, good to see me making moves while I'm at. I'm still on the grind, limit time when I chat. Burning down sage, keep the demons away. When I rather give a piece of myself to the page. I don't do it for the praise, love, that's just how I'm made.
From the glass in the mirror, yeah. Do it at me, old man, tryna pass in the fear. You're the first one to talk, but the last one to hear. Eyes blurry, but I couldn't see the ass in the clear. Damn, start to feel like I'm on one. Settle in, I'll be here for the long run. I'm a slave for the cash, got snakes in the grass, no breaks on the head, but it's all fun. Yeah, seen it all, hit it all. Heard enough, give me space before I murder y'all. 10 bad bitches here, I'ma cover them all. 12 missed calls, and I still made a curtain call. Yeah, light it up, lighten up. Hear them talking, they ain't right enough, tighten up. Everything that I came for, I left with. I don't bang sets, I just bang on the set list. I'll pass up with what I came for the breakfast. Put me in your prayers, I might put you on the guest list. Young niggas ain't reckless, gold in my soul, got the same on my necklace, bitch.
More comfortable. How are y'all? I've gotten a little more comfortable today. Took a little bit off. I've lost a few pounds. By that I mean hot ass heavy sweater. But I ain't making my night no better. Cause I wanna drink rum with that strawberry Moretta. That strawberry amaretto. Oh, that's me being silly. Yo. Told you I was coming back. I got so much energy in me tonight. And I got time. Thank y'all for joining. Let's go. So, I want to tell y'all some revelations that's been happening to me over the last couple of days. I've been having some revelations, heavy revelations. And I just sit back. And I started, ooh, that drink already feeling good. I started to sit back. And I started to say, I said to myself, I said, yo, we've gotten it wrong for quite some time. Us men have gotten it wrong for a while. And I realized that the roles that we have been playing as men in the world today have been actually the wrong roles. We've been playing the wrong roles in life. Actually, what we did was we've gotten rid of our responsibility and gave them to the woman of the planet, and therefore we've eliminated all duties. We've eliminated all duty. It is our duty as men to, with honor, to take on these roles that we have been dismissing and passing up. Now, I'm going to share with you my little flyer I usually put up that I tell you what this topic is about. So that way, women, it's not for you to feel good when I talk about this, even though it should make you feel good. But It's not that I'm not here to stroke your hormones right now. I'm really not here to do that. I'm really just here to help you understand that you should push back on your man when he tries to put certain things on you. You should push back on it. And you be like, damn, I've been with him for 5 years and I've been doing this since the whole time. It's going to sound crazy to him if I just all of a sudden tell him he's now the one in charge of doing this. It's his turn now. He's the one that has to do this. It's going to sound crazy to your man, you approaching him with this, role that you're trying to pass off on him. It's not going to work too well in your favor. You may be trying to break up a home. Maybe I'm trying to break up a home on accident. So, damn, that's good. That's real good. So, here it is. Today, we're going to talk about... What are we going to talk about today? What are we going to talk about today? This is my title for this message. Now, y'all can't see that. It might be a little too difficult to see that, but the title is called Naturally, It's the Man's Role to Cook. Women need... Man, women was lied to. Naturally, it's the man's role to cook. Women been lied to. Now, I didn't only say man's role. I didn't only say it's man's role to cook. I also said this. It's also man's role to raise the children. It's also, I'm going to break this down. Why? Stay with me. This is good. This one is good. As if none of them, all my messages ain't good. This one's good. Naturally, it's the man's role to cook. And naturally, it's the man's role to raise the children. Debate me on it right now. Debate me on it right now. Huh? Debate me on it. I dare you. I'm going to show you why. You know me. If you know who I am, raise your hand. No. If you know who I am, I always like to introduce myself. Because I get new people. People don't know me. People may find the video later. So I always like to introduce myself. I'm going to introduce myself very slightly. I am a holistic master teacher. Why do I say it like that? Because I have mastered the natural way, keyword, natural. I have mastered in my reality, in my life, in my daily practices, besides this alcohol. Don't. Look, don't beat me up over the alcohol. Actually, this is not, this is not alcoholic. It's not alcoholic. I'm kidding. So, I'm a natural man first. My mindset is always this. I always try to think everything that I do, how is it tied into who I am, what I believe, what I practice, what I preach, what I share with the world. My message on the world stage is to live naturally through the laws of holistics, because to live holistically is to live back in your nature state. I'm going to say it again. To live holistically is to live back in your nature state, your natural state. So I am a holistic master teacher. I teach only the 5 laws of holistics. That is meditation, fitness, nature, nutrition, and arts. I preach and I teach this all day long. Cooking is a part of the arts, right? I teach and preach this all day long. So I'm teaching and preaching. When I preach from a holistic perspective, I'm actually preaching from a natural perspective. Always, first. Never second, never third, never fourth. Whenever I preach holistics, I need you to understand this. Whenever I preach or teach about these holistic laws, you need to understand that I am preaching how things are naturally. The natural way. The natural way of life. The natural way that we are to be. So everything comes from the natural way, and we just take that AUL off and put URE at the end. It's the nature way. Or the what is it? RAL? Take the RAL off. I said UL. RAL off and put URE. So from the natural way, it's just really the nature way. So, if I look at it naturally, I say to myself, wait a minute, we got it wrong. It is actually the man's role to cook. It's the man's role to cook. Thank you for the comments. It's the man's role to cook, not the woman. Now, people say, well, it's actually good for both to cook. I've heard comments because I posted this on Facebook, and I got a lot of people that liked it and commented. And the people that commented said, oh, it's actually like for both. But see, they're not thinking from the natural state. They're thinking out of a romanticized, they're thinking from a romanticized way of looking at it, a romantic type of thing. What I always think is really good for the man and the woman to both cook. I'm not talking about what you think is good for y'all sexually and romantically. I'm talking about what is naturally righteous, what is naturally just, what is naturally the role of man. Not man like me as a male, but the role of man, both of us, man, woman. The role of man, the natural role of man is the man's role to cook. And if man understands this, if man understands that this is his natural role, man will also be more in charge than he think he is already. Stay with me. This gets really good. So man thinks that man right now in his lower state thinks that he's in charge because he's dominating. I go to work, I pay bills, I put a roof over your head, I put this house. At least you can do is cook me a meal. But if man knew who he was naturally, you know what man would do? He'd be like, baby, don't you go in that kitchen and touch nothing in that kitchen before I get home. I will you pull out the food, but when I get home, I'm putting this food up on the stove. I'm putting this food up in the oven. Don't you touch nothing. Why? Because it is, y'all ain't gonna get this, man. It's too good for y'all. Because it is through the nature, it is through the nature of man. If man understands who he is naturally, man understands, number one, man will understand one thing, that all things are energy. And when man understands that all things are energy, he understands, what is it? The fourth law of holistics is nutrition. He understands that nutrition is life, is energy. It's not the food in your life, it's the life in your food. It's not the food in your life, it's the life in your food. It's not the food in your life, beloved. It's the life in your food. And so, when man understands that his food is alive, he understands that nature, his nature with thus understands that he is connected to his food. As a man is connected to nature, he's then connected to food. And as he is connected to food, man understands that all things are energy. All things are energy. Everything about what I'm wearing is energy. This hat, this shirt is sending a message. It has a message in it. It's energy. It's conveying something. Everything is conveying a message. Everything is energy. And so when your man understands that his food is energy, he will then get his ass in the kitchen and cook. Why? Because he would then understand that through the food can he insert his mind, can he insert his energy in the food. Therefore, when his children and his wife eat that food, they're eating a part of him. They are eating his mind. And from that, can the family be led? Can the family be led? People, the family can be led simply by your meal. The family can be, that's why I say meals that heals. Your family can be led simply by the energy that the man, so if the man wants to be the head of the household, he needs to be in the kitchen cooking. Because food is energy. And man puts his energy in the food. On a spiritual level, on an energetic level, man puts his energy, his life. It's not the food in your life, it's the life in your food. Man puts life in the food. And if he wants his family to truly follow him, he will get in that kitchen and put his life in that food. He will insert his energy, his essence, his being into that food, so that when the people are eating, his family are eating the food, they are eating his heart. They are eating his mind. They are eating what he understands. They are eating how he interprets life. They are eating how he moves and maneuvers through this world and this planet. And therefore they will follow a man as such, because they are following something that's been integrated into their DNA, embedded in their DNA, which is that man, his mind, in his energy essence signature. So when he puts his energy essence signature in the food, they are eating that. So the children and the woman can know, number one, first of all, they understand that daddy loves us because this food is sure as hell good. Number one, they understand the softer side of you, but that's surface. That's surface. They understand the softer side of you. The softer side of you is the food tasting good, and it makes them feel good in their heart, and it just shows love. That's the surface. Showing them eating your food and it tasting good, it makes them feel good and loving and loved by you. That's the surface. But what makes them feel protected and guided by you, what makes them feel guided by you, is when you are putting food in their mouth that you actually put your life into. And therefore they feel protected and guided by you. They feel protected and guided by daddy. Daddy guides their minds through his food. Daddy guides their mind when he is feeding them, when they know that the food that comes out of the kitchen came from the energy and the essence of my daddy, my papa. You understand? So they understand that daddy is the guidance, the guardian, the protector, when they eat from his plate. This is why even we know that if you follow or if you study anything about the Bible, what did Jesus say at the Last Supper? What did Jesus tell them to do at the Last Supper? When he broke the bread, and he said what to them? He broke the bread and he said, eat of this, for this is what? For this is my body. And he said to them, drink of this, for this is my blood. Oh my God. So the mind, the DNA, the consciousness, the energy, the essence of that man's life is inside of you. When daddy is feeding the family, not only is he breaking bread, but he is also having a communion with his family. A communion means a coming together of one. Communion means to come together and be one. Communion, it means to come in as one. Come in as one. And so when they're having the communion in church, when you have communion and you eat the bread and you eat and drink the blood, you are coming in as one of the mind of Christ. You are coming in as one in the mind of Christ. You are saying, take this bread, for this is my body. Take this flesh, for this is my blood. When you eat of it, you understand this is the mind you will get. So when you eat of the bread and you drink of the blood, you are actually becoming Christ. You're becoming God or Christ. You're becoming who he is. That's why it's called communion. Why is it called communion? Because it's bringing us together through the blood, through the bread, the breaking of the bread, through the blood. It is bringing us together in oneness with Christ. That's why it's called a communion. To bring us together in oneness with Christ. And that's what a father does. I'm not trying to relate this to Bible, but this is nature. This is nature. It is to do what? It is to come. Your children, when they eat your food, they're eating of your body, your essence, your energy. When they drink of the drink you make, they're eating of your energy, your essence. They're eating your mind. They're eating your thoughts. They're eating your ways. They're eating your consciousness. They're eating the way you wake them up and the way you choose to wake them up. The way you feed them is the way you've chosen to wake them up. If you keep feeding them junk, you've chosen to put them to sleep. If you feed them food that elevates their mind and raises their consciousness and elevates and raises their vibration, then you have chosen to awaken their being to who you are and to who they are. That's called me preaching from a natural perspective. That's called me preaching from the nature way. That's called me preaching as a holistic master teacher. That's what that's called. You understand? That's what that's called. So the children, this is why it's the man's role to cook. It's the man's role to cook because man has to understand that the children are being led by the food he inserts himself into, injects himself into. He puts his energy and essence inside of. And so when they eat that, they're eating guidance, they're eating love, they're eating protection, they're eating understanding, they're eating knowledge of self, they're eating a way of life. They are eating protecting the bloodline, keeping it sacred. They're eating sacred food. They're eating what the Father, and the Father protects the children vis-a-vis the food. What the Father feeds them, he also, y'all ain't ready for this topic, man. What the Father feeds him, he also protects them through the feeding, man. He provides protection through what he feeds them. Why? Because what kind of food are you feeding them? Is it the food in your life or the life in your food? It's not about the food in your life, but the life in your food. And so when you're feeding your children, beloved, you are feeding them life. That's a form of protection. And also you are feeding, what else are you feeding them? Not only you're feeding them your mind, but you're also feeding them your thoughts. Your thoughts. You are feeding them your thoughts, beloved. So when you feed them your mind, you also give them your thoughts, because it's about what you put. This is why we go out and eat at restaurants, and if the waiter has a bad attitude or the chef has a bad, we don't want them near our food. Like, if the waiter's bad, we want a new waiter, because we don't want her handling our food, because everything is energy. Energy transfers. And so the man leads his home. He could lead his home more than he does now, than he think he's doing. The man could lead his home even more if he took a step back and looked at what I'm talking about and actually went in the kitchen and did what I say do. And he would feel better about himself. Inserting himself in the kitchen. Cooking. Putting his energy signature and essence on the food. His children will look up to him in a whole different way. True leadership. He would be exemplifying real leadership. His children would look up to him in a whole nother way, because they would be looking up at him as the one who provides protection. The Father feeding them is not providing them food and sustenance. It's providing them protection. The child looks up at daddy and believes that through the cooking, through the feeding, I enjoy feeding my children. I really do. One of the things I love doing is taking my children out with me and we go eat somewhere. Granted, I've kind of, 50-50. I've been feeding them some sleep food. I need to feed them some woke food. I'm here to admit that. You understand what I'm saying? But as I had these revelations, I'm realizing, like, oh, it's in my best interest to do best by my children, because I've had these revelations, and you know, new revelations come new evolution, new evolve. And so I've evolved, and I see now the reality of why it's important for the fathers to get in the kitchen and actually cook, because it's providing a form of protection for the child, their mind, but also you're inserting in the food energy which carries over in the food to your children, in their minds, the thoughts that you carry. And so you really can't be in the kitchen. For me, I know I love to cook. I'm a holistic chef, and I love, one of my roles, I'm gonna start saying that, like, because I got many roles. One of my roles is being a holistic chef, and I cook a lot. And when I cook, I enjoy. You can see it in my face. I enjoy cooking. I enjoy the process. I enjoy breaking down. I enjoy peeling the layers off the onion. I enjoy the sound of the knife hitting the cutting board, chopping up green onion. I enjoy peeling away, stripping away the leaves off the cilantro stem. I enjoy washing my hands inside of the food when I'm getting them out of the hot water into the cold water. I enjoy that stuff. I enjoy touching the bread. I enjoy stirring the pancake batter. I enjoy all of that part of the process. And that, from there, I am putting my energy, my essence in that. And from that, you are getting my mind. You are getting my thoughts. You know how I think simply by what you eat, what you taste. You know how I think. You can gain a sense of how I think. You can gain a sense of the energy in which I live by eating my food, just by tasting my food. You'll sit there and be like, damn, this food is good. And then you'll be like, damn, it's so good. I understand this guy, in order for it to be this good, he has to think really highly of himself. And I do. He has to think really highly of himself. If you want to go look at my food, I give you if you want to go check out my food page, I'm going to tag it in here. Is that right? Let me see. Yeah. If you want to go look at my food page, go look at my food page, SOHL-center, just to get a glimpse of my food. If you want to see how I cook, if you want to see the food I make, if you want to get a picture of all of the food I make, if you want to get a glimpse, like I got hundreds and hundreds of pictures over there of food that I do, recipes and stuff like that. And so it is naturally the man's role to cook, beloved, because again, the man is inserting, not inserting, like certain, I'm certain of this. The man is inserting. He's inserting his energy, his essence, his mind, his thoughts in the food. And the children are eating that. That's a form of protection, because your children now have your mind. They have your mind. And when they have your mind, they understand that they have your love. And when they have your love, they know that they have your protection. They know that they have your protection by having your love. So food is a form of protection. When you feed your family, when you're feeding your loved ones, when you're feeding those you're loving and close to, you are providing protection for them. And they know that, they can feel that, they can sense that. That was one of the things I said, that it is the man's role to cook. But I also said that it is the man's role to raise the children as well. Let's break that down real quick. It is also the man's role to raise the child. After about 5 years old, it is no longer that woman's job to raise that child. That woman should be breastfeeding that child. Most children you can breastfeed up to 5. And I know a lot of people gotten off of that. A lot of people say, no, I'm not breastfeeding my child at 5 years old. I know women who are still I don't know women, but I've seen it online. I've seen women who are still breastfeeding their child at 4 years old. I know, I've seen women breastfeed. It was just National Black Breastfeeding Week last week. And there's pictures of women breastfeeding these large kids on their chest. But the breastfeeding you can breastfeed up to about 5 years old. And it is the woman's role to nurture that child up to about 5. After the child is weaned off of the breast, from breastfeeding at 5 years old, naturally 5. I know some of us stop it early, 3, 2, a year. Most people stop feeding their children breast food, breast milk, or bottled food after about 12 months to, But the fact of the matter is, you should really be breastfeeding your child up to about, in today's society, and the low vibrational consciousness that we're in, at least breastfeed your child to 2. At least till 2. At least breastfeed your child till 2 years old. But you can breastfeed your child up till about 5. After that, after that woman's done her job of nurturing the mind of that child, because the woman is nurturing the mind of that child, it is now naturally the man to come in and take over and rear that child. If you don't know what rear means, it just means to raise the child up. You understand? And so, so it is now the child. It is now the man's role to rear that child. Not mama. It is not mama's duty. It is not mama's role. That is not natural. That is not nature. And here's why. Don't get mad at me, women. Don't get mad at me. I'm the messenger. I'm just the messenger sent. But don't get mad at me. But I gotta say it like it is. After about 5 years old, for that child needs to get indoctrinated by the males, by the men in the family, to now do what? To know what their role in this life here is. The role in their life here is for them to carry out and continue the bloodline. It is for them to carry out and continue the bloodline. You see this happen in other cultures all the time. They're raising their daughters up to and they're raising their sons up. In the Middle Eastern cultures, they do this all the time, where they may be raising their daughter up to only for the specific role of doing what? Marrying another person who can keep the bloodline strong and keep the bloodline going. That's all about bloodline. This happens in the Middle East all the time. And sometimes in Asia. This happens all the time. Mixing race? Nuh-uh. That don't happen. Mixing race don't happen in these other in these other cultures. Mixing race don't happen. They raise their child up. They raise their daughter up and their son up. Two families raise up their children to, by the time they're 18 or of age to marry, they marry them. Point blank, period. They've been raised for this. And they've been raised for this all their life. They've been already knowing who they were going to marry since they were a child. They've been told, you're going to marry Nasir, you're going to marry Samir, you're going to marry, you know what I'm saying, Muhammad, you're going to marry Akhdel, you're going to marry whoever over here. He's 5 years old, but by the time y'all 15, y'all get married. And y'all know they know of each other. And so it is naturally the man's role to take that child from about 5 years old and begin to rear that child up to continue carrying out the bloodline of this of this gene pool. And so when I say women, don't get mad at me when I say this, but here's what I'm here to say. You are not emotionally fit to give that child a strong mind. And you're not emotionally fit. You understand? You're not emotionally fit to do that because you're an emotional being. Men are more mentally fit to get out of their emotions faster whenever something's happening. Men, we are able to tap out of the emotional state faster than women. So we're able to leave our emotions quicker than women can. Women sit in their emotions a little bit longer, and therefore progress slows down. So when women sit in their emotions longer, when something's happening, progress slows down and the child is neglected. You understand? Because progress is slowing down. But men, we know how to snap out of our emotional being and get back to our mind, get back to our right mind, get back to the mental state of what it takes to continue to raise that child. Because we mentally understand the destination, the end goal, the end role. We know what it means and we know what it takes, and we understand. Women, you're not emotionally fit. And I know we live in a cesspool, filthy, messed up society today where roles have gotten twisted around, things have gone backwards, and men are dominating women simply because they can and they want to. And so it's kind of wrong for that. It's wrong for that. No doubt about it. It's wrong for that. But at the same time, it's what you are allowing women. And you can't help but allow it because you're the weaker. I'm not saying it's to demean you. I'm saying out of the two gender roles, you are the weaker of the two. In the sense of the man has been given it's the man's job. And it's the man's role. The man right now should be doing more than what he is in the family structure. It's not providing food, and it's not providing. Actually, the truth is this. The truth is this. It is the woman's role to go out and hunt. Oh, now you lost me now. You lost me now. You lost me on that now. You lost me on that. No. Women. Now, I may have hurt your feelings with the weakness thing, but I'm going to bring you back up. I'm going to uplift you again. Women are emotionally disciplined. What does that mean? They're more patient. Women are more patient than men. Women are more made for the hunt. This is why the lionesses hunt. This is why the cheetah, the mother of the hunts. This is why the females do more of the hunting in nature. Why? Because women are more emotionally fit for this job. Means women are more patient. Women are more emotionally disciplined. Women can wait some shit out. Women are more emotionally disciplined. Men are more mentally disciplined. Men, we look at the frame, the outside, the bigger picture. Women, they look at the picture, the inside, the direct, that what's in front, that what's right here, right now, that what's immediate. Women look at what's intimately immediate, meaning close and nearby. Men, we look at outwardly and far out. We look at far out. So we look at the frame. We look at the outer part, which is the frame. We look at the frame, which is the bigger picture. And women look at the picture. They look at directly, centered, in front, immediately, intimately close to them. They look at what's immediately, intimately close. This is what women look at. Women look at what's close. Women look at what's in front. Women look at what's actually near them, which makes them more emotionally disciplined. They got the patience. Women got more patience than men. Women can wait things out more. So women really supposed to be hunting. Women supposed to be hunting. And the man is supposed to do what? Take the kill. It's the man's role to take that kill. Now, here's another thing y'all need to hear me say. Women are more efficient. Women are more sufficient hunters and efficient hunters because they got the patience. But women aren't lone hunters. Women hunt in packs and women hunt in groups, but also women can hunt with their man too. But it's natural for when the man and woman hunts together, it's natural for a man to step aside and let that woman do what she's naturally more built to do. and that is kill. Women are more wired to kill than men are. Now I know in this reality, this matrix world we live in, more men do the killing. Because we live in a backward society. But women are more wired to kill. They're more wired to. Women are more wired to kill. Why is that, beloved? Why is that? The very same reason why I said women are, it's the man's role to raise the child. Because women are emotionally unfit, but women are more emotionally fit. Women are more emotional. So women are more emotional. And so anything that opposes a threat, women feel more. We're patient mentally when it comes to killing. We're a little bit more like, I'm gonna give you a chance. I'm gonna give you a second chance. I'm gonna give you a third chance. Women, they'll be like, I ain't giving you no more. I ain't giving you no chance. Bitch, I'm gonna kill you right now. Women are more emotional. They're more connected to protecting their emotional state. They're more connected to protecting their emotional well-being. And so anything that becomes a threat to that, they will attack that and kill that and deaden that in the water. So women are more built for the kill because they're more emotional for it. Emotional. You need to be, to kill, it's not, to kill doesn't take absent-minded. To kill is not out of absent-mindedness. Why? I watch Forensic Files almost, be honest with you, I watch Forensic Files almost every night. Why do people kill? One reason and one reason only. Emotional. When a husband kills a wife, that's emotional. When an employee that got fired goes back into the company and shoots up the company, that's emotional. We kill out of emotion. We kill out of emotion. You understand? When somebody kills a couple for money, that's emotional. Because he has an emotional attachment. He believes that without this money, he can't survive. He cannot live. He cannot feed himself. He cannot have the things he wants in life. So it's all we kill from emotion. When you see a woman that cheats on her man, and he kills her, that was out of emotion. Emotion. It takes emotion to kill. Women are more apt to kill. Women are more built to kill because they're more emotional. They're more emotional. But women are not built to raise the child because that doesn't take emotion. A child doesn't need emotions to be reared up and raised. A child gets its love and its emotion from the mother when she's nurturing him till about 5 years old. After that, it is Papa's time to take over that child's life, and the emotional side of that child has been inserted in the child. The child is good. Emotionally, the child is good now. The child is good now emotionally from those 5 years. Those 5 years of emotional attachment with mama is going to carry that child into his lifetime. Into his lifetime. So now it's time for the man to come in and take over the role of raising that child. And now that mama has built the child up emotionally, now it's daddy's time to take over for the rest of that child's existence in that home. It is now time for daddy to raise that child on a mental level. Teach that child what he is here to do, what she is here to do, what their roles are to do, what their purpose is, what they came to do. And after about 15, from 5 to 15, you're supposed to let that child go and really be one in the earth. We think letting a child leave the house at 18 is the legitimate age. But the fact of the matter is, if we go back to an indigenous way of living with the planet, one with nature, if we go back to the indigenous ways Because I tell you, there's only one race, and that's the indigenous race. We, the carbon and copper people. We are the indigenous race. Right? And so, when we go back to the indigenous ways of living as one with nature, man will go back to doing his natural role, which is feeding his children, inserting his essence, his energy, and his timeless thoughts into their minds. And then he will also do the raising of that child. So from about 5 to 15, it is Papa's, Daddy's time. From new birth to 5, Mama is nurturing the child. From 5 to 15, Daddy is rearing that child. Rearing means guiding that child. Guiding. When you rear the child, you guide them. This is what Papa does. Papa's role is to rear that child up, guide that child in the way they should go, so they do not what? Depart from it. So they do not depart from that way. And so people say, oh, let a child have their own mind. That's why we got lost tribes out here now. That's why we got lost souls and lost tribes out here. People don't know who the hell they are. People don't know who the hell they are. Because Daddy neglected his duty and Mama didn't know how to do it properly. Because Mama is emotional. Nothing wrong with being emotional, Mama. But you cannot rear that child after about 5 to 15. 15, you're supposed to let that child go. At about 15, Daddy supposed to see all the work you put in and put it to a test. All right, now go. Show me what you can do. Not go and get you a home. Not go and get you a job. Not go and survive in the world. Because I don't speak from the matrix. I speak outside the matrix. So when I talk about go, my mindset and the vision in my mind is we still living, primitive. We still living in mud homes and in palm leaf roofs, and we still living in in bamboo shoots, and we still living. My mindset, when I'm thinking of who we are naturally, the vision I see is that. I don't see mansions, brick houses. I don't see pools. I don't see cars in the driveway. I see grass. I see mountains. I see water. I see trees. I see homes amidst that. And I see turbans, head wraps, because I love head wraps. Yeah, I see turbans and head wraps. I see us looking like tribes again. So the woman's role is to go pitch water. The woman's role, her role is to go pitch the water. Her role is Daddy's role to build the well, but it's the woman's role to pitch the water. Go out and pitch the water. Daddy must build the well, but Mama must pitch the water. And bring it to Papa. And let Papa do his thing with that water. But Mama can also use the water too. Simultaneously, Mama can wash clothes with that water. It's not Daddy's role to wash them clothes. That's Mama's role. And I'm not sitting here trying to name roles for y'all. But what I'm saying is these important roles that I've named, cooking and raising, are really 2 important roles. Now, we can share the other roles, but really, Mama is supposed to go hunt. It's woman's role to go hunt because women are more emotionally disciplined. It's men's role to rear that child up because men are more mentally disciplined. We can get mad, we can get angry, and we still don't lose sight. We still don't lose sight of our duty and our role and our destiny, for the future of our generation and offsprings and seeds to come. We can be mad at you, we can have a full-blown argument, but we can snap out of that junk real quick. Men, we're built to snap out of an argument quicker than women, are, and we can go right back to work on building the mind up of that child, making sure that child is still doing his job and still doing the work he's being trained to do. So it's Daddy's role to take that child out and hunt. It's Daddy's role to teach that child. It is Daddy's role to teach that child how to kill. Even though mama's role is to go out and hunt. Mama's role is to go out and hunt. Now, mama goes out and make the kill. When mama goes out and make the kill, mama brings that food back. Mama drags that food back. She drags it back. She drags it back. And it is Papa's role to gut that thing, clean that thing, hang that thing, and skin that thing, fillet that thing. It is Papa's role to go in the kitchen with it. You know what I'm saying? Do his thing with it. That's Papa's role. But Mama's role is to hunt. Why? Because women are more emotionally built for the kill. They're more made for kill. They're more emotionally disciplined. Meaning they have more patience to wait some things out. Wait on the hunt like a cheetah. Sit there and wait. Wait. That's a feminine trait. Patience is a feminine trait. Patience is a woman's trait. Patience is an emotional trait. And women are good at the patient game. They can wait. Many women have waited on men to do things that they said they would do and they didn't do. You know what I'm saying? Me being one of them. I'm not here to be squeaky clean. I'm here to be loved in my rawness. Okay? And then it is man's role to rear the child, raise the child. Because man has to insert his mind. But more so, man inserts his mind through the food. Man inserts his mind through the food. Man trains the mind. Man inserts, listen to me, write this down if you have to. Man inserts his mind through his cooking, through his food. Man now trains the mind of that child through the rearing up, the raising up of this child, guiding him, teaching him about the nature, the natural lifestyle out there, teaching him about what materials are good, what materials are good for building a home, what materials are poisonous, teaching him about the herbs, teaching him about the medicinal values of the herbs, teaching him about, you know what I'm saying, the plants, ethnobotany, teaching him, like I said before, permaculture, horticulture, teaching him about ways to tend to the land, how to keep the land prospering, how to keep the land harvesting food and crop, how to keep the land manifesting. That's Papa's role. Teach that son how to keep that land manifesting for their survival. And giving that son or that girl her mind to keep the bloodline strong. And when the man is giving that son or that daughter or whoever that mind, training the mind about, you know, nature and the way nature works and operates, he is training up generations and generations and generations inside the seed of that young man or inside the womb of that young woman. He is raising more children in this way. Men are more mentally built for rearing children when women are more emotionally unfit for it. Because they can get in their emotions, and then all progress, all work stops from the rearing of the children because you sitting in your emotions mad and you don't want to do nothing and you don't want to work today and you screaming at the kids and you tell the kids, leave me the hell alone, close my door, get out my room, and y'all go in there and play, bother your daddy. That's y'all. We can't have that for our children. We cannot have that. We need sternness, we need firmness, we need foundation. Children need that. They need sternness, they need firmness, and they need a foundation to stand on. And so a man's mind, because men are more mental, men are more logical in their thinking and mental, man's mind is built to keep that child, even though y'all may have had an argument, man ain't gonna sit in his emotions way longer than you are. man gonna snap out of that thing quick. Mostly, I know I do. I be about that thing real quick. I be like, hey, we just get done arguing. I be like, all right, cool. Hey, get in there and do your work. What was you told to do? What did I tell you to do? Didn't I tell you to do this and that, the third and the fourth and the fifth? And we don't lose our cool. We don't lose our self. We don't lose our self. We don't lose our senses. We don't take the anger from one place and bring it to the next. At least not me. At least not me. And so, because I've noticed this with me and my children and their mom. And I say to my child, me and my mom, their mom got into arguments. And I say to my child, and they could be doing something, and I can come right back to present state of mind and be like, what you got going on? We know how to leave that state of emotion faster. So women, you're not built to raise the child. Now, in the society that we live in today, the roles have gotten to be that way, and you have gotten accustomed and used to. But I'm here to usher in the new way. I'm here to take back over and say, I'm here to usher in the new way and take back over the role and the duty and say, bring me my children. You stay the hell out the way. Bring me my child. I'll raise my children by myself. Because that's what it's supposed to be. I put that child from about 5 years old to about 15. After that child's supposed to know what to do on its own. It doesn't mean you kicking them out the house. It doesn't mean they don't live with you no more. It just means that child is on its own. They know how to survive. They got all the skills. They know how to live. They know how to bring it home. The bacon, the money, the food, whatever. They know how to bring it home. And so I'm here to tell you that the roles have reversed. I'm here to say I'm no longer looking into the ways of the Eurocentric mindset, the patriarchal mindset of saying, men, you go out there and hunt. Men, you go out there and do this. No, I'm going to tell my woman, you go get the food. Now, in today's language, that sounds like go grocery shopping. You know what I'm saying? Look, go to the grocery store. Or go out in that garden and pick me some tomatoes. Because we doing permaculture around here. We doing horticulture around here. So, or it could be like, yo, go out there and grab those potatoes. And that's what the woman's role is. That's what the woman is here to do. The woman can go out there in the garden and pick those tomatoes. You know why? It's better for her to be in the garden. Because women are flowers. Women are plants. She's a plant. We are the planter of the seed. She's the plant we plant the seed in. And so women are better at being in the garden. So it's better to let the woman in the garden anyway. And say, go out there and get those tomatoes. Because she knows how to be delicate and gentle. With the food, with the vegetables, with the harvest. She knows how to conserve what's there and bring it in for the preservation of life. Because that's what women are built. Literally, women are built for the preservation. They're made to conserve. They know how to conserve, save, and they know how to conserve. They know how to preserve. They know how to make something out of nothing. They know how to make things last long. They know how to make meals out of very little and make it a lot. They know how to, and then make it enough for the next day and the next day. But it's man's role to cook. It's man's role to raise the children. It's women's role to hunt. And women's role to nurture that child. But it's women's role to hunt. Go get that food. It's women's role to hunt. Your role to go get the food, mama. Go get that food. Bring it home. Yeah, I mean, give me the 30-06 and I'm gonna go and shoot me something down. You know what I'm saying? Or give me the bow and arrow. Because I'm going to get me a bow and arrow soon. I'm going to be practicing my bow and arrow, my dart knives, my knives, throwing my knives. We're made to hunt. And also we're made to kill. But women are better killers than men. Because killing is an emotional act. It's an emotional act. And you need emotions to kill. And women are more tapped into the emotion to do the killing. That's why it's naturally their role to do the hunting. They gotta survive when they're hungry. That's emotional. Women can kill off of emotion when they're hungry. Women, they get hungry. Emotion will lead them. The emotion, because you're attached to your hunger. When you're hungry, you feel that emotionally, and so you're more apt to kill off the emotion. Men, we're more apt to go in, instead of out there in the wild and going to make the direct kill. We rather go and kill another human. We rather go and kill another human or rob a human and just take his money out of his wallet and then go spend it at the grocery store. But women are more apt to get directly to the source and kill, connect it straight to the food. She's more apt to connect straight to the food, or straight to the source of food, or straight to, like, if we're eating, animals, right? Women are more apt to take a pig or a chicken or a goat or a cow and slit the throat of that thing and kill. Men, we rather go jack something, rob something, take it from somebody else. As you see what's happening and what happened in this country, a bunch of looters. This country is a looting country because the quote unquote the founding fathers, but those who control this country are the biggest thieves, mostly men, and they stole. They rather go steal than go kill. Like Ezekiel, like what did he say? Ezekiel said, is his name Ezekiel on Friday? Ezekiel on Friday, I think his name. He said, I steal, I don't kill. Men would rather go steal than go kill. Women would rather go kill than to steal. Women would kill for it, because that's an emotional act. They're attached to it more emotionally. Okay? Men, we're different. We're wired different when it comes to killing. We'd rather go take it. You did? Ezel. You don't get your ass. Ezel. All right, y'all. So now that you know the roles, I had to come back on and do this. It's 12:28. We're going to sign off at 12:30. So now that you know the roles, men, get back in your natural role. It should be a privilege for you to want to do this. It's a privilege for me having this revelation. I'm looking at this revelation and I'm saying to myself, I said licking. I'm looking at this revelation and I'm saying to myself, bruh, bring me my babies. Bring me my children. It is my role, and I take pride and joy. It is my role to raise my children. Bring me my babies. And you stay the hell out the way. Because after about from 5 to 15, you are not needed, mama. You are not needed no more. Because after about 15, they should need none of us. They shouldn't need none of us after about 15. Now, they still live with us. They still live amongst us. They still live in the tribe. They still live in the village. They still live in the community with us. But even in the community with us, they're independent of us. They don't need us. They're sovereign. They're independent of us. Sovereign. And that's what we're rearing them up to be. Sovereign. Teach them how to be sovereign. Independent of any aid, any help, any need. Somebody said, but you got to leave these children alone and let them have their own mind. Now that those ages are rearing. Now that the rearing ages, no, you don't. They need you to be, they need guidance by you. After about 15, you put them to the test and say, show me what you learned. Get out there and show me how you can survive. And they literally, in ancient indigenous tribes, you understand? They literally threw the child out there in the wild at about 15 and told him don't come back for about 5 to 6 or 7 days. Don't bring your butt back until about 5 or 6 days, because I need to see if you can actually survive out there. So they would throw the child out there in the wild to be by himself for about 4 to 5 days. And the child must come back with a kill. This has been practiced in tribes all over the world, everywhere. Before they decimated, they started decimating tribes and stuff. But this is practiced all over the world. You understand? And so about 15 years old, you throw the child out there to the world, to the wild. Not the world, but the wild. You throw the child out there in the wild, boom, go. Do your thing. It's on you. Do your thing. And don't come back here without kill. Do not come back here and the child comes back with a fatted calf on his shoulder. After about 5 days, the child comes back with a calf on his shoulder. He done killed him a fatted calf. Because that is the proving that he is now, that's his initiation. It is the proving that he is now a man, or he is now a sovereign being. He is now independent of his parents. He can now survive in the world. He has to show evidence that he can survive in the world. So the child is not to come back after about 15 years old. You throw him out there on his 15th birthday. You know what his birthday gift is? You throwing his ass to the wild. And he cannot come back 4 to 5 days until he got a kill. And he has to stay out there until he comes back with a kill. And that is the evidence, the proof that this young man has been initiated into manhood, into sovereignty, into independency. He can survive without me, without his mama, without us. He can survive out there in the world all on his own, by himself. He is good now. He don't need us, but he still makes a good team member inside the family unit of this tribe. So you are still able to live with us because you're an asset. You're an asset to Honey. You're an asset to our survival. You're an asset. You're just another asset now. Now you can go out there and hunt. If I'm down and I can't hunt, somebody else got to be able to do it. The son goes out there and he's able to do it. That's why they train your ass up till about 15 early. You need to learn this early. We can't wait till you 18, 21. Where that come from? They don't understand that language. Not 18, 21. No. You need to be out there now. You need to be out there early as you can. About 15 is when you get out there, bro. Bye-bye. See you later. And don't come back without the fatted calf. Don't come back without some kill. Because we need proof, evidence. You are built for this tribe. And that is his badge. That is his trophy. That is his reward. The reward is what? Not the kill. The reward is what? You get to stay in the tribe with us. Bringing the calf back is bringing the calf back. His reward is the allowance to be able to stay in this family unit, so he's not out there in the world a lone wolf. You don't want to be a lone wolf out there in the world. You don't want to be a lone wolf out there in the world. So his reward for being able to bring back a fatted calf is the ability to stay within the tribe, to build with the tribe, to live amongst the tribe. If he comes back empty-handed, he's cast out. Bye, you gotta go. Remember the story in the Bible. I use this scenario because it's very identical to what I'm saying. Remember when the worker gave one man 10 shekels, he gave another man 5 shekels, and gave another man 2 shekels. The one man that had 10, he went out and flipped it and brought back 20. He said, good work, good and faithful servant. You know what I'm saying? Take this for your reward. The other man with 5, he went out and flipped it, brought back his profit, gave it to the owner. And the owner said, good reward, good and faithful servant, you done well. Here's your reward. And the last one, who he gave 2 shekels to, or 1 shekel, he took the shekel and he buried it. He buried the shekel. And when he came back to the owner who gave him the shekel, he said, what do you have for me? Where's my gift that I've given you? What did you do with the gift I've given you? He said, what did you do with the gift I've given you? And he said, Your Majesty, Your Honor, I took the shekel and I buried it because I knew you was coming back and I didn't want to risk losing it. The man said, what? The man said, what? You did what with my money? He said, I buried it because I knew you was coming back and I didn't want to risk losing it. I wanted to make sure I still had it when you came back. He would have been better off had he risked it and lost it versus not risking it at all. He would have been better off having risked it and lost it than versus not risking it at all. See, he did not take a chance on himself. And so the master said to him, the master said what? Take that shekel, give it to the one who has 10, and you shall be cast out, and your head should be called of you. I'm not remembering the scripture very well. It's been a while since I read the Bible. But he basically got murked because he took the master's money and he didn't take a risk. He didn't take a chance on the money. He didn't take a chance at going to flip it. The master's like, you've been better risking it and losing it than versus not risking it. Because who knows, you could have made something. You don't know what you could have did. You could have flipped it and made 20. But you didn't risk it at all. And because you didn't risk it at all, you don't belong. You don't get no reward. You don't get no reward. Your reward is your head called for you. Your reward is your head. And they called forth his head because he did not risk. Beloved, when the man is rearing up the child and the child goes out at 15 years old, go out. The initiation is you are going out there. That's your initiation. Sending you out there to the wild. Now don't come back to this family. Don't come back to this tribe unless you got something to feed all of us with. Not just one of us, but all of us with. Don't come back with no squirrel. You better come back with a pig. You better come back with a bull. You better come back with a calf. But don't come back with no squirrel. You better come back with a calf, bro. Prove that you are worthy of staying in this tribe. And if he goes out there for 4 or 5 days, however long it takes him to get that calf, if he goes out there, he comes back empty-handed, he's banned from the family. And he is no longer considered a part of that tribe's identity. So when they find him out there in the wilderness alone, right, somewhere by himself, and they ask him, whose tribe are you a part of? He can't even mention the tribe he originally comes from because he cut himself off from that. The reward he got for bringing nothing back is the cutting off of your identity. You have no identity now. You're a lost soul. You're a lost tribe. You don't belong to this tribe. Do not claim this tribe. When they ask you, what tribe do you belong to? Do not mention this tribe. You understand? He is not to mention that tribe. He is not to mention that tribe. He cannot mention the tribe he was born in because he did not prove his worth. And if you don't prove your worth, beloved, you don't belong to fit into this tribe. So he comes in. So if the son comes back with the fatted calf, his reward is what? Carrying on the tradition of the tribe. Carrying on the tradition of the name, of the family name. Carrying on the tradition of the family name. Each and every one of us are a tribe. Our last names. Our names is our tribe. So it is that man's duty, that young man's duty, to continue to carry out the tradition of the tribe when he brings back, when he's initiated by getting thrown to the wolves out there in the wild. If he comes back saying 5 days, he ain't got nothing in his hand, he's banned from the tribe. You can't claim this tribe. You can't tell nobody you was even born in this tribe. You can't tell them nothing about this tribe because you don't belong to it. Because you have not proven you're worthy to be amongst this tribe. And he becomes a misfit. He becomes a misfit. And on the flip side of that, the child, when he do come back with the fatted calf, his reward is the tradition of keeping the tribe name and the bloodline strong. And every man in every tribe, that's what they want. That's what they fight for. They fight to carry the bloodline. The bloodline is the reward. To be able to work inside that family tribe and carry out that bloodline. Every man wants that. In every tribe. Every man in every tribe wants that job. Every son wants that role for himself. He's like, Dad, give it to me to carry out the bloodline of this family, of this tribe. Give that role to me. But son, you got to prove yourself. You got to prove you fit in. You got to prove you belong. You got to prove you're worthy. You got to prove your worth to this tribe, son. Show us something. Do something. Go out there and kill. But don't worry, your 15th birthday is coming up. You're going to be tossed out there soon. And you got 5 to 6 days to come back with something. And if you don't, beloved, you banned. You banned from this tribe. And trust me, that young man, he's going to make it happen. Not because he's hungry and he got to eat and he got to feed his family. But because that young man, he wants to prove all that his daddy taught him is that he is worthy of being called a man. In most tribes, you're a man at 15, not at 18. So it is the woman's role. I'm going to say it again. It is the man's role to cook, beloved. And it is the man's role to raise that child. It's man's role to rear that child up. And it's woman's role to nurture that child up to about 5 years old. After that, get your hands off of him. He's mine. I'm building him up to be a man. I'm going to toss his ass out there to the woods. And if he don't come back with something, he's banned from this tribe. But if he do come back with something, his reward is keeping the legacy, the bloodline, and the tradition of this tribe going. That's his reward. And every young man loves that reward. Every young man wants that reward. Every young man wants that reward, beloved. Trust me, he do. He wants to carry out his papa's last name or the tradition of the tribe. He wants to be the one to pass on the next seed, the bloodline, the tradition that his father taught him. So we got to get back to more natural ways, holistic ways of living our lives. We got to get back to the natural way. We got to get back to the natural way. All right? So I'm going to let y'all go. But before I let y'all go, I got to say that as we get back to the natural way of living our lives, as we get back to that, men, be ready and prepared to take on a new identity. Because your role has to go back to the role of that which our ancestors and the tribes that we come from built. We got to go back to that. We got to go back to that immediately, ASAP, right now. Not tomorrow, not yesterday, today. We got to go back to that. Listen, beloved, if you just got here and you need to watch this video all over again, go back and watch the video all over again. I love you. I love me. I love us. Be well. Be loved. And be light, beloved. And always remember, live from the soul. I'm so excited. I'm so up. I'm so energized. Peace.